There I am. Hi everybody. Wow, I look really tired today. And I am. I'm beat. All right, give me a second. I got to do things. There I am. Okay. Here I am live. How you doing? I'm just here to like chill. We're going to be drinking some coffee, relaxing. I'm laid back, not even dressed up, just wearing an old t-shirt. Just sitting there hanging out, and decided to get on here and ask. Well, I'll probably be asking questions, but answering questions that people have about general recycling. I did a live broadcast last night talking about how I got into recycling, how I got into this whole scrapping and recycling and the eco guys and how things started. It was a great chat. Although I think I started a little on the late side, but here I am. So if y'all want to comment, make a comment. I'll be more than happy to answer questions. If you wonder about something that can be recycled, where it can be recycled, how can it be recycled, can it be recycled, and all this, uh, go ahead. Send me a question. And here's something real fun we can do. Stump the recycler. It's something I used to do on my radio show. Basically, if you can come up with something that you don't think that I can tell you how to recycle it or reuse it, uh, that's stump the recycler. There's no real prize. I tell you what, I will gift you a pin. Sell me this pin. Anyway, I don't know. You'll just have the hope and pride that you stumped me. And let me tell you, when I did the radio show, and sorry about all the extra noise around here. It's a very noisy day. I got people out there cutting grass. I got a noisy air conditioner over there. Everything just wants to make noise when I decide to do a live for some reason. Everything was so quiet until then. Um, I want to show you guys something here that's interesting. First, our I'm just getting the cobwebs out of my head. Our web address has changed. It's no longer the eagleguys.net. I kind of lost that .net thing, so I'm trying to get it back. So the best way to figure out how to contact us through our email address is to go to the Facebook Eagle Guys, or go to Instagram Eagle Guys, or go to and or just send me an email at theeagleguys@yahoo.com, and I will let you know the web address. But one thing that we do on the website is, if you have something that's recyclable and you can't find a place to recycle where you are, you can mail it to us and we'll recycle it. And I get everything in the mail you could possibly think of. Let me show you something here real quick. I mean, everything, including a lot of these videotapes. Now, videotapes can be recycled, and I do have a video up to how to break these things down and recycle them properly and where to take them and all this. But some things have changed since I did that video. Curbside is really not wanting these anymore after you break them down into plastics. So I always suggest, look, just send them to me, because I have somebody who actually takes, I do two things. One, I will blank these out and offer them as blank tapes. People are now buying these things. They're wanting these. And some old movies, like this one here, this is an old movie, is a collectible. So I first see if someone could use it. Well, if they can't use it, or if it's damaged, then I break the components down and recycle it. And I have a video for that. And I'm going to redo the video soon and do another breakdown of a video set. But where I send the plastics to, they make like park benches, picnic tables, fences, all kinds of things. They make dimensional lumber and all that out of these plastics now. So that's what we do there, and that's how they do that. And we get a lot of that sent to us. But this is something else we're doing. The whole the whole quit smoking thing is really big now. So a lot of people are going to this vape thing, these electronic vapes. I just destroyed half my office here. Picking one thing up, everything goes to the ground. Anyway, so we put on there that these vapes are, I'm doing a video on actually microscrapping an old vape. And that's what this is right here. Right? Vape. The vape pens. Yes, they're recyclable, but you got to do them the right way and you got to be careful. Inside these things are great. There's hard plastics that I ship off to my manufacturer to make those park benches. They literally can take all plastics, which is wonderful. That is the kind of industry that we need to see a lot more of. Because let me tell you, let me finish talking about this first, then I'll talk about that. Then I'll answer questions. I haven't seen any yet. But these things can break down, and I will wait to kind of surprise you with what's inside them and how they're manufactured and how to recycle them when I do the scrapping. I keep wanting to say microscoping. Micro scrapping of these damn things and show you how they break down. But inside there are batteries, there's wires, there's all kinds of things. But you got to really be careful what you're doing, as the battery in these things can be dangerous. But let me tell you, since I've put out that you can send us your vapes to recycle, we've been getting a great response. And this is just like a drop in the bucket to how many vapes are out there. We need to get everyone. If you know anyone who vapes a vapes pen, and it's not just that, but you got these little, can you see that? It's the little inserts that go in the vape pens. They are recyclable. We'll break those down. There's another one right there. Yeah. So if you know anyone who vapes, tell them to start holding on to these things. Go to our website, get our address, mail it to us so we can properly recycle these things instead of hundreds of thousands of these things with their deadly batteries inside them going to the landfill. But that's just one of the things. We get electronics. I'm certified in destroying data. So we get like data cards and little flash drives to destroy, and we recycle them and all this. And those are fun because we put them in a little crusher. It just crushes them and smashes them. Oh, I love smashing and crushing stuff. But anyway, so these plastics that I was telling you, like the covers to these VCR tapes and all the hard plastics that can't really be recycled curbside, they go to this manufacturer who makes dimensional lumber, makes park benches, makes all these things out of these. You can literally build houses with this lumber. The lumber is straighter, it lasts longer, it cuts just like wood, acts just like wood, but it's 10 times better. And I'll tell you why it's 10 times better, or 100 times better. One, it's straight. If you use it on an exterior, you can actually have it colored and the color won't fade, so you don't have to paint it. It's fireproof. It doesn't do any kind of outgassing. If something is destroyed in it, like a tornado hits it or a fire damage or whatever, with wood, you're just trucking all that to the landfill. With these dimensional plastic pieces, you can take those back, they'll shred them up, and they'll recycle them again. The only downside is there is a limited warranty to this wood that they make out of plastics, unfortunately. They only guarantee it for 100 years. After 100 years, you might have to look into extending your warranty. So after you enjoy it for your first 100 years, yeah. So that just kind of shows you why these plastics are on this earth. They're a necessary evil. Let's try to turn them into a positive. So I think more manufacturers need to, we're wondering what we do with all this plastics waste that we have. We're trying to figure out ways to things. We need more people making these lumbers. And there's a video on my YouTube here over the company that I like, who makes these dimensional lumbers for park benches and picnic tables and just everything you can think of. It's great. It's really great. Anyway, so as I said, we're just hanging out having coffee. Are you drinking coffee? What are you drinking? I'm drinking wah 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 wah. Enjoying it. Again, any questions? How do I recycle this? How do I recycle that? Another thing that we're starting to accept now are these in the mail. In fact, I got to get online today and make a new thing on the website for pins. That's right. They are recyclable. They are. Um, and no one else really but the Eco guys will recycle these things. So you can send the pin to me. I know Bic has this return pin program, but send it to us because I just like doing it. The pin's plastic. It's usually a number 7. The ink well thing inside is an issue. That is the one thing, unless it's completely empty, that unfortunately has to go to waste. But we turn this whole pin into the waste is smaller. And always the tips of these things, people don't realize they're brass. And they say, well, it's such a small thing. Yeah, but you know what? Think about how many pins you might go through. Even if the pin is silver, it's still brass. So we recycle it. We take it apart, ship off the plastic, recycle the brass, throw away the ink, unfortunately. So that's just the way it is. So just throwing these things out at you here. But anyway, but I'm just sitting here enjoying coffee. I got 2 people watching. Welcome. Hi there. I don't know who you are because you're not like giving me any comments saying, hey, it's me. But, cheers. Just kind of hanging out on the live. I like kind of hanging out, just talking. I'm hoping to answer some questions about what's recyclable. I got this the other day. It's really cool. We're getting into summer now, spring and summer. And people were asking about those big plastic pools, that kiddie pools. Basically, what's the better one to buy for the environment? The one that you blow up or the big plastic one? What do you think? There's a right answer to that. And there's a third option that I would highly suggest that you do that's a little bit more environmentally friendly and will last you a lot longer. These plastic pools are recyclable, and usually they're number 2. Don't quote me on that, but I believe so. The only problem is they're so big, your curbside recycling won't take them. They're too big a piece of a plastic. So what I used to do when I came across these pools, people would give them to me to recycle. So I used to actually take my time, of course, just the way I am, and I would of course, collect a bunch of pools, drive over to the people who recycle the plastics for the county or the city, drop them off there, and then they will take it, put it in their big crusher, crush them down with the other plastics and recycle them. The blow up one is made out of a rubber, which is hardly recyclable. It's hard to recycle it. But the way I look at it is if you get the blow up kiddie pool and it pops and it's unusable, there's a million other things you can use that. You can use it to cover your lawnmowers. You could use it as a cover. Fold it up, stick it away. When cold starts to hit, you can use it to cover your plants. It's a great thing to kind of hold on to. That's a reuse product. But this is what I would suggest everyone does. It's a little bit more expensive, but if you think about this, every single summer you're buying a new little kiddie pool. It adds up. Go to your local farm supply store, and they have those big, gigantic, round metal buckets. I mean, they're about as big as a kiddie pool, and some of them are even bigger. Get one of those. First, it's going to last you for a while. It can be used as a swimming pool. A lot of people do that. And if it does get destroyed in some way, damaged, it's metal. It's 100% recyclable. So that's a better way to do it. So yeah, there you go. That's what I would do with the kiddie pool. But I was asked if the plastic kiddie pools are recyclable. They are. However, you're probably going to have to take those to your local drop-off center that recycles plastics, because the truck that comes around your curbside won't take it. It's too big. Now, there is a community here in Orlando, small community, that I've actually seen take the kiddie pools into recycling. They realize it's number 2 plastic, so they take it, but they have a bigger machine that they put all their recyclables in so they can fit it in there. So any questions, I'm ready to answer them. Now I got one person watching. Now, whoever you are, you're dedicated. Bless you. What are you doing today? Who are you? Someone, I'm waiting for some comments, but people, when I do these lives where I'm just sitting around just BSing, people come, people go. It's cool. It's like when I sit at the cigar bar, haven't for a while. And, People that I know will come by, sit for a little while, chit chat, go on. It's cool. It's the way it's done here. So yeah. Another question I got recently was a lot of communities are closing down their curbside recycling, and why? Well, there is a plastics crisis going on right now where recycling is concerned. China, for the most part, has shut down their recycling of plastics, and there's some other countries that have. And a big problem is our separators, it starts at the curbside, starts at the homeowners, but too much garbage was being put into the plastic chain, and they were literally dealing with our garbage. And the whole plastics industry, where it came to recycling, just slowed way down for some reason. It does cost, a lot of people say it costs more to recycle plastics back into plastics than make it from virgin material, which is actually incorrect. It's about the same cost. However, the cost for the environment, you got to factor that in. The fact that it puts less chemicals in the air, recycling plastics back into plastics instead of virgin material. And what are we doing with all of our plastics? People have also the wrong idea that the earth will absorb and take care of itself and all this bull crap. The earth will take care of natural things, not unnatural things. And when this earth was made, it wasn't made with plastics. We did that. Plastics are everywhere. It's necessary. I got plastics all over me. I got plastics in this. More than likely, there's plastics in my hat. You see plastics in a bottle behind me. There's plastics in this. There's all these plastics. Okay, plastics is a necessary evil, but it's just, what do we do with them? And I thought I silenced you, phone. Anyway, people think, well, when I put it in the landfill, it'll biodegrade down, turn back into soil, we don't have to worry about it. No. Number one, plastics are here forever. They may break down into little pieces, but they're not going to biodegrade down. No. And when you put stuff in a landfill, let me tell you how a landfill works for people who don't know. First, you dig a big hole. Then you line that hole with a very thick rubber membrane. Rubber. Then you put dirt on that rubber membrane. Rubber. Then you put your trash on there. And these big, gigantic tractors with wheels about the size of your damn house sometimes will roll over that garbage and compact it. What happens when you compact something so tight? A vacuum forms. Nothing really biodegrades in a vacuum. Now, they try to help it. They put more dirt on top of that when they're ready to close what they call the cell. They put more dirt on top of that, but then they have to put another rubber membrane on top of that cell. This is all to keep what they call leachate, which is bad stuff. It's the bad chemicals that leaching from all the computers that people throw away, which they shouldn't, all the cell phones, all this bad stuff that will seep down into your water supply. And there is no filter system in the world that will filter this stuff out. You will be drinking it eventually. And people say, well, I get bottled water. Well, read your bottled water real carefully. Most of them are from what they say a municipal water source, which they say it's natural spring water. No, it's not. It's from someone's tap. It may go through a filter system, but filter systems do not take everything out. I'm sorry. There was a great study done not long ago where they took all these bottles of water and they tested them, and they were finding all these chemicals in these bottles of water. It's just the way it is. But do you go out to eat? The water that they use to cook, to make your food, where's that coming from? Eventually, the stuff you throw away is going to wind up back in your body, and it's going to kill you. That's why we have lots of cancer, lots of other illnesses growing throughout our bodies, because our bodies are trying to catch up to all this new stuff we're putting into it, all these deadly chemicals. Every cell phone thrown away. Cell phones have got cadmium, arsenic, all kinds of. Check out the cell phone cocktail video we did years ago, and it lists everything that's in. It was so great. It was me and Colin Green and I, and he wanted to drink a glass of water. And I said, sure, because he just threw away a cell phone. I said, sure, but let me help you out with that glass of water. And I was mixing the chemicals that's inside that cell phone into his glass of water to kind of prove a point that that's what he's doing to everyone else's water supply by throwing away that cell phone. So anyway, so back to the landfill. So they compact it and it vacuum forms. It's they do put some kind of they do put like little bugs in there and all that to try to eat it. And some of the paper, cardboard, food waste, and all that will biodegrade eventually. It'll take a long time, but styrofoam, plastics, um, most metals in a vacuum, the metals will rust away, but it will take probably 500 years to get all of them gone. The plastics will stay there. Some plastics might break down to the point where they break down totally into chemical process again, back into crude or oil or whatever. But that'll take probably 550 million years, something like that. Uh, Styrofoam will never biodegrade unless it's burned or recycled. Every piece of styrofoam you've ever touched, every piece of styrofoam is still on this planet and will never, ever, ever biodegrade. I don't care if you put it out in the sun. It will break down into little pieces, but it will never go away. It's part of our earth forever, ever. So that's why it's so important to keep these things out of the stream and just keep recycling them over, reusing them. What's the big deal? Let's just keep reusing them. Why just go grab virgin material where you can just keep reusing them? Why fight it? And a lot of people say, well, it's political. It's political. It's Al Gore. It's yeah. There is no place in the environment for political. Okay. I've been non-political and I've been working for the environment since I was 10 years old. And it's not political. People who put the politics into the environment are idiots. Plain and simple. Don't be an idiot. Don't put your political thoughts in with the environment because they don't mix. They're like a magnets coming together and rejecting each other. It just doesn't work. Okay. There's no reason to do that. And everyone who comes up and says, well, this is bad for the environment, or this is good for even people who say this is good for the environment, both sides. There's a lot of agendas, a lot of political agendas, a lot of business agendas. If we wipe all that out and just tell the truth, which the Eco Guys does, then this whole mind fog cloud over what the environment is will be cleared up. And let me give you a perfectly good example of that if I'm not confusing everyone by now. When we first started the Eco Guys radio show, we were on an extremely conservative radio station. Everyone on there was conservatives. I think they even had Rush Limbaugh in the afternoon or whatever. And then here we are, this merry band of recycle guys, green guys, because I don't like to be called an environmentalist. I'm not. I'm a green person. Okay. So we waltz in on Saturday afternoons at 3:00 and put out the Eco Guys show. Of course, we do it in a fun, entertaining way, but we're talking. One of the first phone calls we got was this lady saying, "Are you Al Goreans?" And right off the bat, we said, we don't like Al Gore. We think he's a brainless idiot. And he's out there with all of this misinformation because he's got an agenda. He's got books to sell. So basically, that surprised everyone on the radio station when we said that. We said it's not about political. It's not about books to sell. It's not about pipelines. It's just about doing the right thing. We're going to have oil. So let's do the right thing by it. We're going to have a pipeline. Wonderful. Pipeline. Pipe everything everywhere. Let's just make sure it's not leaking. Hello. I tell you what, if you're okay with the pipeline leaking, let me poke a hole in your gas tank, let you zoom on down the road with the gas pouring out, and maybe throw some sparklers over there just for shits and giggles, because, hey, it's all right if it's leaking, right? If the pipeline is leaking, there's a problem. Shut it down, fix it, turn it back on. Let's do things right. That's all we ask for as true environmentalists, as true green people. Just do the right thing. And it takes 2 seconds. Believe it or not, and I got an example. Look at this. I got a plastic bottle. It takes just about as much energy, and I've tested this, and I've had NASA scientists, rocket scientists go with me, and we've done extensive testing. When you drop one of these into a garbage can, it takes the same energy to drop it in the recycle bin. It was amazing. It goes boop right into the recycle bin, and it also goes boop right into the trash can, but one of those is doing the wrong thing. Boop, and then, this is even more exciting, taking it to the curb. That's the other excuse I hear. Oh my God, I don't want to take my recycle bins to the curb. It's just a hassle. Do you take your garbage to the curb? Well, yeah, of course I do. It takes the same energy to take your garbage can to the curb as it does to take a recycle bin to the curb. You're just fighting the right thing for some reason. So what else do you do in your life that's the wrong thing, I wonder? So anyway, that's just my opinion, and there you go. And look at this. I'm using a disposable cup. What's going to happen though? See, this is going to be recycled. This is actually, I believe, if I'm correct, doesn't say, but I'm pretty honestly convinced that this is PVC plastic. It could be a low density polyurethane. A lot of people don't realize that even styrofoam is made out of, these things are made out of the same product styrofoams are made out of. It's the same number. Paper cup, 100% recyclable. So this whole thing can go in your recycle bin. Just pop the lid off, put the cup in there, you're ready to go. Any recycle bin. So it will be recycled. But the thing about it is I didn't go to Wawa this morning. I went to Wawa yesterday. I still have this cup. It has it stained up like they do. They deliberately do that so you don't hold on to the cup and you have to go back. You know that, right? Ever have a coffee cup and then right on the seam, it starts to like stain and get wet and get weak and start falling apart because you're using it? They do that deliberately. So you can go back and get another cup, which I think sucks. But I just made a cup of coffee. Instead of dirtying a cup, I decided to keep using this till I can't use it anymore, and then I recycle it. The right thing. So as I said, we're just sitting here chilling. I've been here for 26 minutes. I've had a few people come in. One person's still there. If you have any questions about recycling, even if I'm off air and you're watching this on a replay, if you have any questions about, hey, can I recycle this? Can I recycle that? Just ask, and I will assist the best I can. So I wonder with YouTube, we got some YouTube smarties out there. If I sit here live, does this count for live hours, or do I have to have people watching to count for watch hours? Because if it's, I could just sit here all day long live, just chill with you, just watch me work. Why not? Today I have to clear off. I have a work table here in front of me. This is the Eco Guy studio. And I got to clear this work table off because this is what I'm working on here. Check this out. Dumpster diving yesterday. Got a whole bunch of this bad boy. And Bear Bright, basically. So I'll be stripping all of this today, organizing. I got a lot to do. I've already stripped a lot, but I got a lot more. But these are pretty long. Look at that. And of course they came. This is what I actually found was a bunch of aluminum conduit, and the wire was inside the aluminum conduit. So took it out of the conduit last night, and I'm going to be stripping it down and recycling it and going from there. This is considered aluminum clip, which here in Orlando is a little bit more than regular aluminum. Not by a whole lot, but a little bit. So anyway, so as I said, I decided to pop on here just to see who's here and give suggestions, answer recycle questions. And I'm not going to be on here long. I'll be popping in and out on lives a lot more often, popping in, popping out. So if you have questions, you can make comments here, and I will read the comments. And then when I do the next live, I'll answer them like I did on this one. I answered the questions that I got about kiddie pools, answered the questions that I got about the videotapes, and where the plastic goes that can't go in the curbside. Been answering those questions. So I think I accomplished what I wanted to on this live, and I will be back, of course, doing more lives and answering more questions. You can also email a question to me at the eco guys at yahoo.com. All righty. So signing off for now, but I'll be back. Yes, I will.